All right, if anyone else in the crowd is ready, you need to make sure that your file has been pulled. If you're waiting on your attorney and your attorney's not here, you should step outside the courtroom and call them.
Okay, pause for a second. This judge is not playing around. If your lawyer ghosted you, better get on the phone now. Can we talk about how stressful it must be to face sentencing and also chase down your attorney like it's a game of legal hide and seek?
Right. And this is for sentencing?
Yes.
And was this just a plea on one case or two cases? Court is calling 2023 CR 7883 and 2023 CR 7884 State versus Camillus Galvan. Can I have parties announced?
Raymond Martinez for Mr. Galvan.
And are you Mr. Galvan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest in each of these cause numbers on March 4th, 2025.
6 years. That's not probation. That's not community service. That's real time. And the state isn't just standing by. They're actively opposing any leniency. This isn't just sentencing. It's a legal tug of war.
According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state opposes your applications and each cause number. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
I have, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses?
Judge, I think I'd like to call Mr. Galvan's mother just to
Sure.
talk about something that came up with PSI.
All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I'm Ruby Galvan.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Galvan, first thing I want to start with is, have you ever had difficulty with Camillus in terms of him violating the law, like what happened in this situation?
No, sir.
So far, the mom is giving strong character witness vibes. No trouble at home, compliant on bond. It's like he's being painted as the model son who made one huge mistake. But does that outweigh the actual damage done?
From the time he was a juvenile up until becoming an adult, has he given you trouble at home?
No, he has not.
Okay. So was this situation a surprise to you and the family when you found out that he'd gotten arrested?
Yes, it was a big surprise to me.
Okay.
Here's where things get heavy. The defense is subtly introducing the idea of generational trauma and distrust of law enforcement. But is that fear enough to justify evading police? Let me know in the comments. Would fear override logic in your shoes?
Since he's been on bond, has he followed all the rules of the court?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And how long has it been since we've been litigating this case?
This month will be 2 years now.
Okay. And has he complied with all the conditions of his probation? I mean, his pretrial,
Yes, he has,
including the monitor?
including the monitor.
Has he had the monitor the entire time that he's been out of custody?
No, sir. Because we made a police report about the license plate missing in the back.
Okay. Now, has there been an incident in the past where a family member of his or somebody close to him had some bad experiences with the police?
Well, we have a family history with my siblings, and it's just my side of the family. They're always doing things they're not supposed to be doing.
Oh, that is so ghetto.
Okay. Well, there's a particular reason, if you know, why Camillus might have been afraid to have an interaction with a police officer.
Yeah, so he always hears about, just on TV, I guess, what they watch on the social media, that, officers shooting individuals for no reason, sometimes just things like that.
Okay. But nothing of personal experience on his part, because he's never been in trouble with the law. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did you know that he was with his cousin that day?
No, I did not. I was at work.
Okay. So was his cousin supposed to be with him, or was his cousin supposed to be in school?
His cousin was supposed to be at school his cousin lived nearby, but his cousin was.
That's witness, Judge.
State.
Ms. Galvan, to
You stated the car that your son was driving on the date of the offense, that was the car that you and his father bought him?
That's correct. We got him for graduating.
Okay, and so there was an incident there, he didn't have a license plate, is that correct?
Correct. That was the week prior. We had a police report that was missing.
Okay, and so if I'm understanding correctly, you had instructed him to not drive the motor vehicle until you were able to obtain the new plates, and he did not follow your instructions.
That's correct.
Okay. At the time of the offense, is Camilla living with you?
That's correct.
Okay, and was he working?
Yes, he was working at Foot Locker.
Okay. And I guess, do you know why he was not at work that day, or what was he supposed to be doing instead of what was going on?
So he was supposed to be home. I don't think he was working on that day. Usually my sibling was the one picking up Damien back and forth that week.
Okay.
And I guess he knew that Damien needed to do STAR testing. I think so. I guess that's when he decided to go do it close by, it was nearby. From what I.
And again, have you had an opportunity to review any of the evidence in this case?
We did. We saw a few of the videos.
Okay, and so are you aware of the injuries that the deputy sustained from the collision?
We did see some old video of him getting carried away. I think something on his knee.
Yeah, you had some lacerations, not correct?
I'm not sure what that is.
Do you recall if he was bleeding from anywhere?
I think he's great.
So did you see the video where he was being hit and he was having issues breathing because he blacked out from the impact?
No, I did not.
I mean, do you think that's fair that he had to sustain that just because Camillus didn't feel like stopping and obeying the authorities on that day?
No, I did not.
You believe that's within his character, and what the court could expect from him is that when he's presented with a decision, he's going to make the right one,
Yes, that's correct.
despite his actions on that particular day.
That's correct.
Okay, that's all I have, Judge.
Solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Yes, Calvin.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
And Mr. Galvan, you've already told the pre-sentencing officer at the probation your version of what took place, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
So,
I want to ask you some more questions about that, okay? At the time you were driving, did you have a driver's license?
yes, sir.
Did the car have insurance?
Yes, sir.
What time of the day or night was it when the officers first attempted to pull you over?
So my cousin called me around I guess he woke up around 10. So he had to take a STAR test. So I would say around 11, that's when.
Okay. And what was your cousin asking you to do?
If I could take him to school because he needed to take a STAR test.
Okay. And I'm sure the judge knows what that is, but for the record, what is a STAR test?
It's a test that you need to take so you could be able to pass the next grade.
Okay. And what were you doing when he called you?
I was getting prepared to get ready for work, but I go to work around 3. So around that time, I start my morning.
Okay. And so where did the two of you decide to go after you picked him up?
Ah, here comes the crux of the defense. He wasn't trying to disobey. He was trying to help a cousin take a school test. Not exactly your typical high stakes. Motive in a police chase. This might be the heart overhead moment the defense is banking on.
We decided to get some breakfast, and we never made it there.
Okay. And so what was the circumstances, if you know, as to why the officer was pulling you over? What happened?
I really don't know. So prior to that, my car, we had an issue where my belt broke, and honestly, I can't even be speeding. I wasn't doing nothing. So we said that my license plate was stolen. So me thinking I could move my front plate to my back, the back of my car to my back plate, and so I could be able to take my cousin to school.
So it wasn't so much that you didn't want to do what your parents asked, but you needed to take that test.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you roughly when you first noticed that the officer wanted you to pull over?
I believe I'm honestly, I really don't remember.
Okay, well, what general area of town are you at?
Southwest. I'm right there by the I'm not sure the street, but I know I coming from Walmart towards it's- I'm not sure the street.
Okay. Well, let me help you a little bit. So the biggest portion of the time when the officers are chasing you on Old Pearsall Road, is that right?
Oh yes.
Okay, and that's 410 and Highway 90 roughly. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. And so initially you see the lights come on and you decide not to stop. What's going through your mind at that point?
Honestly, I didn't know there was a officer behind me. My car's tinted, so I can't really see behind. Like, I didn't see no lights.
Okay. So when did you at any point did you notice that the officer was behind you and wanted to pull you?
No, I didn't notice. The only time I noticed was whenever my cousin told me.
Okay. So when your cousin tells you, are you still on Old Pearsall Road?
Yes, I'm trying to make it home.
And where's home?
Going down Old Pearsall by Traders Village.
Okay. And so why is it your decision to try to get home versus just to pull over and see what he wants?
Just scared.
Okay. Did you have any drugs or anything like that on you?
No.
Had you been drinking?
I don't do that. I don't.
Were you under the influence of any kind of drugs?
Oh no, sir.
Did you have any warrants? Okay. Did you have anything in the car that was illegal? What about your cousin?
Nope. My car was brand new. Like, I didn't have nothing in the car other than my insurance, the papers towards the car, nothing else.
Okay. Did they find, once you and your cousin got found and you got arrested, did either one of you get found with any contraband on you?
No, Your Honor. I mean, no, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about after you do realize that the officer's behind you, at some point, as you told the judge, you just kept going to try to make it to your house.
Yes.
And how far were you from your house when this accident occurred?
I didn't make it towards my house. I went a little bit further down.
Okay. At any point, did you notice that there was spikes in the road?
Yes.
Okay. And how close or far were you from that when you first noticed it?
I was probably like around 400 feet.
Okay. And how fast are you going?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Would you agree that you were probably going faster than the speed limit?
Yes.
Okay.
And now we hit the climax. Spikes on the road, officer nearby, and a desperate swerve. Was it reckless evasion or a terrified teen trying not to die? This is the moment juries live for. Drama, stakes, and a whole lot of gray area.
What do you do when you realize that the spikes are across the road and it's going to blow out all your tires? What course of action do you take?
I hit the brakes and I lost control.
How did you lose control? Tell me about that.
My traction wasn't on, so when I hit the brakes and whatever speed I was going towards, I wasn't trying to hit the spike, so I tried